Hello, everybody. Happy Saturday. Good morning, afternoon to you. It is 8:25 a.m. on the West Coast, so it's actually like 11, almost 11:30 on the East Coast. And there's a bunch of basketball games going on today. And what I thought would be fun is, there's so many. How many are there? How many ridiculous number of college basketball games are there right now? Well, we have a pivot slicer of all the games and let's talk about that. There are, because I'm going to do this video in under 10 minutes, but I want to show you how cool this file is at predicting basketball games and how easy it is to read. There are so many games today, folks. I think it was 148 was the number. Can we even get it in a slicer? How many are there? Okay, we're gonna see the end of this train. There are 100 and at least ones that they're taking bets on in Las Vegas. 148, as you can see right here. So let's go over all of them. And here's my goal. My goal is to find 8 games that are going to win. If you find 8 games that are going to win, you can end up kind of throwing those on a big, huge bet for a very minimal amount of money. You could take $10 and bet it on 8 teams to win, and you'll win like $1,000 or something ridiculous. It's crazy. So I think that if we could find 8 teams that win before the games start in a half an hour using this file, I think that would be awesome. So let's do that. So let's look game by game and talk about it. Ready? Here we go. And we're going to do it in less than 8 minutes. 148 games. Boom, go. Temple, are they going to beat Tulsa? The file would normally say yes, because 63% is bigger than 49. But they're on the road, which is tougher. Basketball teams seem to play better at home. And the line is not great because they're at minus 35, so Vegas has them favored. So I'd say, that's not a great pick. So they're not going to be one of our picks. Now watch how we start to go really fast as I use the same logic. Here's a line that's negative 700 because Kansas is really favored a lot. Which means you're not getting paid anything, so you're not going to take that. I'm not going to talk about spreads yet. We're just talking about money line, simple win-loss. That's all I care about right now. So no, this game's unbettable unless we were to take Oklahoma State. And 42 is not as big as 68. There's no reason they should win this game, so I wouldn't want to throw them on a big, huge parlay bet or anything because they're probably going to lose. So I don't like that game at all. All right, let's start moving here. Wisconsin, Michigan. Favored 80. 80 is a big number. 80 is a big number. Minus 310 is also a big number in the other direction. That's why this game is probably unbettable. Do you want to risk it on Wisconsin on like a fun little parlay ticket with some underdogs because they're at plus 250 and they're a good team? Projected score says no. So probably not. So I'm going to stay away from that. Now, keep in mind, we have 148 games to choose from. We don't watch all these games, but you're going to see some weird things start to happen like this. Why is Virginia Tech favored in our file and not favored in Vegas? Why are they favored in projected score in our file and not favored by Vegas? And I don't know the answer to that. Is it because Clemson's at home and I have Clemson undervalued as a team here? That's possible. But this pick is a pick that I want to bet because I disagree with what Vegas says. And that's a high number, and this is a great line, so this is very bettable, and that's probably going to be one of our 8. Miami, Florida, Ohio, and North Carolina. They don't even give you a line in Vegas because this game is so one-sided. Our projected scores don't range wide enough as they should. I'm going to work on that, but they're obviously going to win this game, but you can't bet it. So it's really it's not 148. It's now 147 games that are available, and you'll see that there are other situations where Vegas doesn't give you a money line. So it's less than 148 actually that we're choosing from, but not considerably less. St. John's, favored by Vegas, favored by us, favored by projections. Negative 300, not a good line, so really not bettable, I guess. Not really. Ball State is enormously favored. Now, this is an interesting idea. Western Michigan, 27%. That's a really low number. They're probably going to win this game. Do you want to throw them on a big, huge parlay ticket just to add a little bit because they're really probably going to win? Maybe. Because they're almost assuredly going to win. But you're only getting 10% of your money, but 10% is still money. I'd consider this. Stuff that I'd consider will call, I don't know, red. All right, we got to start moving. 8. Georgetown. Ooh, it doesn't favor him projecting score. Georgetown over, but I like Butler. So these numbers are really, really close. And Butler's here. The problem is that they're not favored here. So I wonder if you can get Butler plus points, but if it's only 1 point, I wouldn't do it. We won't talk about spreads. I'm going to say no bet, but that's a close one because I consider Butler there. We will go against the power percentage when they're low and close, kind of like in situations like this. Like you'd think about taking Illinois, Chicago with the points. It's an idea. But they're on the road, so we're not going to do that either. Mississippi and Georgia. Favored. That's pretty big. They should win this game. But I'm going to skip it because I don't like negative 150. This is too much, so we're going to say what they're really supposed to win. Davidson on the road. I'm going to skip it because we got a lot of games. Kentucky should beat Mississippi State. That's a big number. Still going to skip it. Auburn and Louisiana State. Remember, we got 3 minutes to go, and we've got 100-something games. That's a super close game. They're a dog, but they're on the road. I'd consider taking Auburn with the points. Favored and barely favored. That's an interesting one. It's a close one. It's a toss-up, but it's a good line. Yeah, consider that. Two bad teams. You might want to take, skip it. Northern Illinois, Michigan. Wow. I think we're going to do this. Why is this? Consider them with the points or straight up because when we favor them in both of these, we go with what the file says. These are close. It can go either way. Take them with the points. If you can't get them with the points, take them straight up. Ohio, Miami of Ohio. Don't like the line, no. Kent State, Akron won't even give you. Texas Christian, Iowa State. Just refreshing again. No, don't like the line, but yeah, don't like the line. JMU, oh, interesting, and Towson. So here's some really low numbers. And plus 135, consider taking Madison with the points. Or winning, straight up. Virginia Commonwealth, big to little. That's a pretty big disparity for a negative 135. Is VCU that really that good? I think they are. That's a big one. I think that's almost a guarantee at negative 135. Not a guarantee, but that's a really good line for this percentage difference. And there's a 3-point differential. I think that's a good bet. That's one of them. We got a minute to go. Let's blow through it. Boston College. No, 2 lines too bad. No lines terrible. North Carolina State, Pittsburgh. Negative 1. See how this disparity isn't as big, 69 to 52, as this was. You can show both those teams together. Are we really going to do this in 30 seconds? We need to get to 8, actually. I think we have like 4 so far. North Carolina State, Pittsburgh. You see how that's a difference. That's why, and this line is better. It's a great comparison there. It's why when you're picking between these two games, that that you tell that this is such a much better pick, a better line. The only thing that's different is here is North Carolina State is ranked a little higher than Virginia Commonwealth in power percentage and more points here. And that's why. I won't waste too much time because I know it's a long video, and I've got to actually make picks. But let's keep going. Duquesne and Fordham. I'll skip it because they're on the road and not a great line. San Diego line. Villanova. Wow. So that's supposed to be a really good game. Villanova at plus 110. I feel like if you told me, Marquette fell apart in the last game too, didn't they? Let me look at the profit loss on Marquette real quick. Historically, we're doing this like a week. I know Marquette lost the game. I know we're getting lost here. Marquette. There's a couple ways to search. So there's Marquette. I have them one time in here on the 5th, and they lost. And I remember they didn't put up points. And so to see Villanova at 110, how can you not take this? Right? I think that's a really good bet, even though the win percentage, they're both about, it's basically a toss-up. So if you're given a plus 110 in a toss-up game, you take it, especially because they're a good team and because Marquette lost and did not have a nice offensive showing last time. All right, Texas Arlington, App State. Super close and plus 190 and projected score. You're supposed to take App State on the road. Aren't you? You're definitely supposed to take them with points. Definitely. Arp State. Similar situation. Close, but not favored in projected score. Close. If you're never going to take Troy here, even though they're favored both. You wouldn't do that because this is so distorted. I'm not going to pick it because it's not favored in either one, but just how you look at the file. Milwaukee, Cleveland. Wow. Right? Straight up, even money. They are favored. I consider it. They've just lost a game late. Can't get them with points. I'll stay away from it because it's just too much of a toss-up, and we want better than a toss-up. Here's better than a toss-up. Arkansas over South Carolina on the road. That's the only problem. But they're favored in both at plus 105. I gotta say, you take that. That looks awful. Hofstra is probably... All right. Now, do you throw this on a big parlay bet because how the heck is William & Mary going to win on the road? And I think you do at negative 750. You consider it because that's almost guaranteed money. Be careful with that word, but it is. Florida State, Louisville. Wow. I'm seeing Louisville plus the point. Sounds like a great idea, doesn't it? Or even to win because they're favored in both. Florida Atlantic. Now that's super close for plus 275, but you Texas San Antonio. Ugh. Stay away, but if anything, take Florida Atlantic with the points. College of Charleston is a really good team from what I've seen. Supposed to Drexel's also decent, right? Stay away from this game because I think they're really good. And negative 210 is not a good line on the road, but still. San Diego Pepperdine. Pepperdine's better than you think. I'm going to let that game go because there's like a 15% disparity there. This line's ridiculous, but is Tennessee that good? That's the biggest number we've seen on a power percentage, right? But negative 800 and Florida's 54. This is in Tennessee. It's a huge disparity. I mean, they're probably going to win that game, so consider on a parlay. maybe if you do one parlay with a bunch of huge favorites like that, where maybe it pays 2 to 1 if you throw like 3 or 4 of them together. We'll see. Illinois and Rutgers. Wow. Wow, wow. Well, I mean, not over, but still. Rutgers with the points, right? If they're going to be offered like 7 or 8 points, maybe I'll start incorporating the spread in here. All right, the video is getting too long and I got to make picks. All right, so anyway, I'll go through more of these later. If you want to get copies of this every day, you can subscribe and get them so I don't have to worry about doing videos all the time. Because I do the videos once in a while as advancements are made to the file overall. But as you can see, there's so many games that I just have to go through it all, and we can't do an hour-long video about this. But eventually, it'll be even quicker. We won't have to explain everything. So we're out for now, and may your picks be winning. I've also got hockey to do before 10. Oh my God.